Hey everyone, it's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, this is going to be another Walking Dead City video, basically talking about one thing that happened from last night's episode. So I don't imagine this video will be very long because, as you can see from the thumbnail, if for whatever reason that you clicked on this video and you didn't see the last episode, the latest episode of Dead City, it might be a good idea to click off unless you don't care. But this is going to be a discussion and giving my thoughts as to who kept the power. So, if you have seen the episode, I think it is an interesting discussion, and I thought about just making the video. And plus, I made a poll to ask you guys who you thought cut the power. So, but if you did click on this video and you haven't, if you're not up to date, I don't even know if I would go look at the post because there are spoilers. So, before we get started, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe. And if you want to like the video, leave a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, share the video, all that good stuff. So, like I said, if you're not caught up, I think I would advise you to click off the video, get caught up on the episode, and come back. Or if you want to stick around, or if you don't care about spoilers, then go ahead and stick around because this will contain spoilers. So, if you are leaving now, I thank you for your time, and I'll catch you next time. So, for those that want to stick around, we're going to get ready to get into it in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, this part of the episode where Negan goes to Christos's place to negotiate a deal to get an alliance to join up with the Dama, the Croat, because Bruegel has already formed, the Bruegel here is a part of that alliance, so the Dama wants Christos's alliance because he's the last holdout. So Negan goes by himself because, the Dama doesn't want the Croat to go because of what happened, how Negan got the Bruegel's alliance by himself. So she wants Negan to go by himself in the hopes of gaining the alliance. So Negan and the Saviors 2.0 guards or whatever, or the Brazi, I think they call them the Brazi, but Saviors 2.0. But anyway, Negan and the Brazi bring in the methane tanks and they go into Christos's place, and Christos takes Lucille 2.0 and is kind of pointing it at Negan, and he says, "Oh, you messed up big time by coming here, that I could kill you right here and now, that, why should I agree to meet with you because you embarrassed me in front of all of my people?" And then that's when we get the reveal that Christos is looking after women and children, because it seems like his 2 little girls come into the room and accidentally interrupt the meeting, and Negan sees that there are women and children that he's protecting, and now Negan, that is something he can relate to. So, he's trying to be upright and honest with Christos, and tells him, "Look, if you don't join up with us, eventually someone, it could be the Bruegel, it could be New Babylon, whoever is going to end up coming for everything that you have. And with the numbers that won't happen. So it seems like Negan and Christos are going to come to an agreement. And before that, Christos explains that him and the Bruegel, remember when Bruegel was explaining how he won Christos's former place of home in a bet, and obviously Bruegel won that bet. So Christos is saying that after that, Christos and Bruegel made a trade agreement where they would trade food, supplies, weapons, whatever. But it wasn't enough for Bruegel, so Bruegel just kept on taking and taking and taking everything, including Christos's weapons. So keep that in mind for this discussion. So, okay. Next thing Negan and Christos are going to come to some sort of agreement. Then that's when the Croat comes in and burst in and interrupts and accuses the Croat accuses Christos of cutting their power because one of Christos's weapons was found near the junction box where the power was cut earlier in the episode. But you got to remember what Christos just said. Christos said that Bruegel and him, that the two of them made a trade agreement, and Bruegel just took all their shit, pretty much. So, it would seem like Christos cut the power, or sent his people to cut the power, but you gotta think of it on the other hand. Just because it happens to be his weapon, that doesn't necessarily mean him and his people did it. I think what is going on here, and I'm sure we'll find out, I think that Bruegel set Christos and his people up to be killed. Because Bruegel, it's probably a couple of reasons. I'm sure we'll find out for sure who cut the power. I'm gonna go with Bruegel. I don't know. Just take a look at Bruegel, who is on the left. Christos is on the right. Okay, neither man, I would say, is innocent per se, but Bruegel, just look at the way he's dressed. He's dressed all fancy, and he has his ways about him where he's a very particular character, and he fancies artwork. And it seems like also we haven't necessarily seen this side of Bruegel yet, but I think we're getting ready to. It seems like Bruegel is on a power trip, and he's beginning to make his move. And one thing that I think that he decided to do is, let me get rid of old competition, old rivalries, by getting Christos and his people killed. So we'll use their weapons to cut the power. And you think about it, the weapon was left purposely where the power was cut. Now, if somebody that cut the power, and they wanted to get away with it, you would think they wouldn't leave any evidence behind. Think about that for a second. Bruegel, I believe that Bruegel's people left that evidence behind on purpose to get Christos and his people killed. Because, if Christos, let's just say if Christos and his people did it, do you really think they would be dumb enough to leave evidence behind? I don't think they would be that dumb. I don't, looking at the situation, I truly believe that Bruegel is on a power trip and he's starting to want to make moves. So let's cut the power, let's leave one of Christos's weapons behind, and then let's get them killed, and then we'll eventually make our move against the Dama and the Croat, because I don't want to share alliances. I want it all for myself. I think that's what's happening here. This is the beginning steps of it. I believe that the Croat, for the remainder of season 2, will be the villain, but I could see him very well getting killed off in the season finale. And it seems like they are going to make a season 3 of Dead City, which if they do, I'm all for it. If they continue the momentum of season 2, absolutely. And it seems like Bruegel might end up surviving, thus setting him up to be the season 3 villain. Because I could see it now, either Negan or Maggie will kill Croat, and thus will leave an opening for Bruegel to take Manhattan over all for himself. I could see that being the case right here, with this whole situation of framing Christos and his people. This is his beginning move to not only get Christos and his people killed, but eventually try to make a move against Croat, and then, or better yet, he'll have someone take out Croat for him and just swoop on in and take it all for himself. I could absolutely see that being the case. So I don't want to make this any longer. So yes, do I think Christos and his people cut the power? I don't. Do I think Bruegel sent his people to cut the power and frame Christos in and his people in order to start making a move? Yes, I think the Bruegel set Christos and his people up. So that's pretty much all I had to say. So what do you guys think? Do you think Christos and his people cut the power? Or do you think the Bruegel is starting to make his own moves, and his starting move was setting up and getting Christos and his people killed? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. That's pretty much going to do it for this video. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support. And if you're new, welcome on in for the very first time. I'm glad to have your support, and thank you for your time. I am Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.